we got your point. I mean,
I'll just leave one thought.
We'll reflect on it, which is your case is that, look, this is the political system, whether you like it or not. Whether we like it or not, this was the political system. This is how it operated. We have at least tried to improve upon it. The fact that we don't succeed doesn't reach out to the constitutional validity of it. Maybe we have not improved upon the system, but we have tried to improve upon the system.
I'm grateful. In a federal setup, if you, for example, if somebody were to pay BJP in West Bengal, I'm just giving a hypothetical example, then some other party might victimize. It's not an allegation, it's an illustration. The law was further amended during the UPA government to I'll give another example so that my learned friend is satisfied.
It's a very apt example. Why?
In Madhya Pradesh, somebody contributes to Congress, maybe BJP might victimize. Now it balances. Now there is a level playing field between both parties.
No, there is no level playing field on the funding. The rest is the level playing field.
No, this was on the lighter side. Some donors did start following this practice, but most of them were reluctant to disclose the details of quantum of donation given to a political party. This was because they feared consequences visiting them from political opponents. The law was further amended during the UPA government to provide for pass-through electoral trusts so that the donors would park their money with the electoral trust, which in turn would distribute the same to various political parties. Both these reforms taken together resulted in only a small fraction of donation coming in the form of checks. Please mark this. This is what ultimately the experience was. In order to make a serious effort to carry forward this reform process, I had announced in my budget speech for the year 17-18 that the existing system would be substantially widened and donations of clean money could be made to political parties in several ways. A donor could enjoy a tax deduction by donating in check. Donors would also be free to donate monies online to political parties. A cash donation to a political party could not exceed an amount of rupees 2,000, etc. Please see next para. I do believe that donations made online or through checks remain in an ideal method of donation to political parties. However, these have not become very popular in India since they involve disclosure of donor's identity. This is the heart and soul on which, my lord, either I can satisfy persuading your lordships or I fail. The confidentiality.
So the heart really, I mean, that you are, frankly, Solicitor, you are very fair. The heart of it is whether we accept this submission that, look, if you require disclosure of identity.
The scheme fails. Then we go back to the earlier thing, or unless.
Whether we like it or not, according to you, our political system is such that there would be reprisal, that there would be a sense of vindictiveness if you paid this to this particular party.
And that incentivized payment by cash.
So there are two aspects to it. One, as pointed out, whether by giving confidentiality to the donor, a greater objective or greater protection, a greater public
larger public interest is served.
The second is partial confidentiality.
Partial?
Confidential. What I said, selective confidentiality, yes, that's what my brother is emphasizing.
Because what happens is the person who's in power can have access to it.
I'll show he will not be able to. That's what
that's the gray area. The other side will not agree to it. You may say so, but the other side.
Before your lordship, my lord, if we agree on.
The other side will not agree to it.
Yes, yes.
And coupled with, their case will be coupled with the number of cases against the opposition. You may be justified in saying there is violation of law, therefore cases are justified. Court will also say so.
There is a statutory obligation on the State Bank of India to maintain that confidentiality. You presume confidentiality before their banks are, that's all.
I'll show that. There is a confidentiality. And when, I know, my lord, what is falling from your lordship. In a raid, my lord, if in a raid, if we have to go with counting machines, not one machine, then they can
We are not on that.
we are being victimized.
No. We are not saying.
Yes.
Look, if you come to the court, if there is a wrongdoing, if there is
Yes,
illegality,
there are courts, my lord.
they'll obviously not support that. They'll support the right side of the law. But the issue which is raised is if there is selective confidentiality, then what happens? Third aspect which is there is the just third aspect.
Yes.
Because while dealing with the first aspect itself, which is or the second aspect itself, if confidentiality is given, how do we ensure what was called the protection in one sense, quid pro quo in another by another speaker? How do we ensure that this is checked?
That I have not paid money to get a favor. Well, let me put it as plainly as possible. Well, from the scheme, I'll be able to satisfy a lot. This, my lord, concept of selective confidentiality, my lord, I'll have to remove that there is complete confidentiality. Between the two, there is none. There can be, there need not be. But the government cannot go through that, pass through that and find out from decoding whether my learned friend has given to a party and not me. That I'll be able to show from the scheme. But ultimately, my lord, you'll have to trust somewhere. Lord, for example, if everything is to be shown to say election commission, there can be a my lord, leak. You'll have to trust somewhere. You'll have to trust somewhere.
It's not liable to give rise to, say, I mean, possibility. It's a question. It's not a hypothesis of legalizing kickbacks. Because as you rightly said, solicitor, earlier, in the earlier scheme, what would happen is, say, a rainmaker for a political party, ABC political party. He would collect some money. He collects 50 crores. He's not going to deposit 50 crores in the coffers of the political party. He has his own share in that. Now, basically, the benefit of this, let's look at it, the positives, so to speak. The benefit of it is that you are legalizing whatever the motivation for the receipt of the funds, but now it goes to the party. It doesn't go to the individual. That's the benefit. The party gets it as opposed to the individual rainmaker who would have got it earlier. And we have no way of knowing whether this is really also legalizing the motive for the inflow of the funds.
My lord, kindly see. Just, my lord, I'll answer that, my lord, in detail tomorrow.
We got your point. I mean,
I'll just, my lord, leave one thought.
We'll reflect on it, which is your case is that, look, this is the political system, whether you like it or not. Whether we like it or not, this was the political system. This is how it operated. We have at least tried to improve upon it. The fact that we don't succeed doesn't reach out to the constitutional validity of it. Maybe we have not improved upon the system, but we have tried to improve upon the system.
I'm grateful. But one thing.
That exposes the argument, fellas. I hope your lordships are talking about his argument.
Yes, that's his argument. No, that's what his. No, we are formulating whatever.
We can only hear.
It's also in a lighter vein.
We are very open to everything.
But not forget this
That's
scheme
why he
is.
pointed out what
it's right.
what was the regime before.
That's right.
No, my lord, forget
Do away
this.
with black money has to be the mothers. We are all on one platform on that.
Very simple,
Yes.
which I had pointed out, if they wanted to deal with.
Then you have to go to parliament.
No.
That way you can't find out
No,
here
no,
as
no.
a public interest.
You allow all this and distribute it amongst all the candidates. Simple. Allow all this.
Just one more question.
No,
Can
but
we
you
have the
cannot
data
enrich
with
the
regard
party.
to the unaccounted, that is to 20,000, now reduced to 2,000, the quantum which has been received by all the parties?
Whatever.
And how
It is there, my lord, in the
It's there.
compilation which I have filed, my lord, would
If
your
it's
lordship.
there, then it's fine.
But my lord, I'm just leaving a thought with your lordships, but I'll respond tomorrow. But suppose this scheme is not in existence. I want to give a kickback. I will pay kickback, has to be, my lord, by way of
By way of cash.
cash. Now, even considering the case to be the worst, the amount will come in white money and will come in the official channel.
No,
Banking
No,
can.
no, but it's legalizing the kickback,
Yeah.
but
No.
giving the money to the political parties as opposed to
It
people who
would
are
still
involved in
be
the
an offence.
That's all.
It would still be an offence. I'll be able to satisfy a lot.
The difficulty may be because if it's given by the political bond or the election bond, then the issue is it's all under protected under the umbrella of confidentiality.